Hmm. Okay, guys. Just a second here while I get this fixed because everything is out of whack today. Um. Hmm, 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 hmm. Okay. This. This. Okay. Good morning, buddy. How you doing? Uh. Let me just. Oh, this is because I remember now. Okay. So this is because Restream wasn't working yesterday. Okay, like that. There we go. There we go. That's what was screwing everything up. Okay, well, we're ready to roll. Do 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 do. I need to go into this. I need to change this to 1,000. I need to change this. So to 0. And then DMPI. I changed my holdings yesterday on DMPI as well. What's up, Sinui? How you doing, buddy? Um, just want to make sure that I've got the sizing right on this. Did you ever do some revenge trading with feeling that you have to make back what you lost right away? Not right away. Not right away, but Macy's was one that I played options into earnings through Christmas on, thinking that they would have had a bad Christmas, and it went against me. And then the following earnings, I did trade them again on a revenge trade and won. Um, a knee-jerk revenge trade? No, I've never done that. And there are some where I take a loss and I just admit that that was a loss. So something like HPQ. HPQ was one that with Xerox looking to buy them out, I took a call against them, and it didn't go as planned, and that's fine. But I wouldn't go back to fool around with that again. And then we all kind of have we all kind of have those losses. You're going to take losses, right? Just a reality at this point. Um, but what you do with those losses is really the key. So for me, what I'm trying to do as much as possible is if I take a loss, MBRX for example, yesterday I had to exit at a loss, right? Okay, I can't update this right now. I increased my position on DMPI. I just can't remember by how much, so I'll have to come back and do that again. Um, Good morning. Um, but yeah, exited the position on MBRX yesterday just because I'm not comfortable with the ability for them to do a 1-to-8 split, reverse split, and then flood the market with 16 or 6 million shares. So I exited that position real quick. Do this, edit this, get rid of this, and this. DGLY is coming down nicely. MBRX can come off. Juneteenth today. Hopefully everything goes well with that. Not really seeing anything else here that's making me TWO popped, huh? Interesting. That's a fantastic idea, man. I always have a journal somewhere in reach here. Got one there. Got another one over here. I always have a journal nearby. They're worth their weight in gold. I swear by it. I know it's old fashioned, but I swear by it. You have to, have to, have to. Mhm. Merck got another approval. Mhm. Okay, that's that. Yeah, freezer, that's exactly it. There's some people that entry and stuff, but for me, it's definitely about the mindset of like, what was my thought process of why I got into this? What was my thought process of why I got out of this? Um, Looks like we'll be examining my DD on ACRX today because there's articles coming out saying why would anybody be in this thing? And that's not the first time I've held that position, but it's always important to check your bias. Um, That's a lot of articles. There's a lot to read today, guys. Well, I wonder why the beaver didn't work there. Um, okay, so iPix. So this is on Verlacidin here. Hmm. I wonder, I wonder, I wonder. That's an interesting idea to publish it. I don't know that I would ever publish my trading journal. All right. Alembic Pharmaceuticals, huh? That's not going to be tradable. Merc, got to keep that up. Um, my thought process is something I would like to keep to myself as much as possible. I know when I'm memeing with you guys inside Discord that I'm pretty open and I share why I'm thinking what I'm thinking. But the reality is, as far as that being public to the world, I'm not really interested in the world understanding how I think. I think that's part of the advantage of. Um, I think fairly outside of the box, I see things that other people don't see, and for me to make that readily available to everybody, I don't know that I would. I don't know that I would be interested in that. But it is important for me to have that because the trade journals have made it very, very simple for me to analyze exits. And I used to have a really hard time with exits. And the key to my getting it done right was to start tracking that in journals and understand what my thought process was, why. It varies, but typically anywhere from 2.5 to 3%, depending on the country you're in. There are some countries where the inflation is significantly higher. Okay, Ultragenics. Moderna's vaccine will be tried on 30,000 people starting in July, first week of July. Market's going to go green today. Okay, this is the worst fundamental analysis I've ever seen. Interesting. Everybody thinks that it's going to outperform, and yet this article is saying, is it time to get out? Okay. But there was nothing really in there that indicated one way or the other. Yeah. Currently, they're up, and the S&P is trailing a little bit behind, but it'll be green when news of vaccines comes out. Everything tends to just go green. Trying to fix my mic here. There may have been plenty of good news, but there wasn't plenty of good news on the vaccine. Um, which is the key. Has to be vaccine related. They don't count Burlacidin as a vaccine yet. All right. Okay, unsustainable storage should be avoided. ACRX. See, for me, this is just lazy. This drives me nuts when there's articles like this because it's like, well, you're not actually providing any insight here. All you're doing is copying and pasting. You're writing down results on a couple of metrics and you're not coming to any conclusion. All you're doing is posting, here's what metrics say. These articles drive me nuts. I mean, there's no deep dive, there's no insights, there's no, like, they can do better. You know what I mean? All right. Orphan drug status on protagonists. PTGX. Upgraded to hold. That's not really a great upgrade. Momenta, MNTA. Upgraded to a strong buy. Um, History matters, but at the same time, like, if your FA is not, most of these articles that have FA feels like it's just TA. All they're doing is looking at the charts, right? Vivo's upgraded to a strong buy. Yeah, this is what to expect on Solaris's earnings. But this is really the one that I want. No, I don't want a preview. I don't want a preview. I want the article. Not really. It's just an analyst way of saying that they expect significant growth over the next little bit. Usually they're operating on 12-month cycles. So it's saying that over the next 12 months, we're expecting to see it really grow. Yeah, I was expecting more news out of that than what we saw. This whole podcast episode is about why the diesel engine isn't going anywhere. Are people still buying Hertz? Absolutely. Absolutely, people are still buying Hertz. That's the scary thing. Also, people that don't know how to cut a loss are in there. Huh. Nice. Um, yeah, people are definitely still buying this thing. Let's look at yesterday. Yeah, there's volume on it. Did I put this on here? TLSA. No major pump yet. Yeah, it's gonna get a lot worse than that. All right, I'm just gonna grab some water, guys. I'll be right back. Yeah, I can definitely catch up on you after time. All right. So we're through the articles, guys. It's 5 a.m. Let's start to break down markets. Boyfriend markets. Gas looks stable. Energy is leading. Oh yeah, yeah. I've heard of that. I mean, I've heard of lavender. I've heard melatonin. I've heard all kinds of different hacks. All right. Finance. I think this is a misconception that states and cities have to exist. They don't. Ooh. Let's take a look a little bit deeper at that because that's kind of a big deal. Shots fired on Nicola here. So she's saying New York real estate won't survive another lockdown. Yikes! 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 I mean, the senator's making a good. Yeah, I mean, he's saying the right thing. The faster that the reopening happens, then they can actually assess who is genuinely unemployed and who's not. Right? Um, I think that's pretty solid. Delta putting on a show. I love Tesla, and I'm a believer in that company wholeheartedly. I don't feel the same about Trevor Milton. This guy's an amazing salesman, but he lacks credibility. Yikes. Mm-hmm. I don't. The plan, they had a 4-year business plan, 4-year strategy on the merger. And I don't know that they're around in 4 years. We'll see how their Badger sales do, but ultimately, I don't think there's an infrastructure in place for them to do what they want to do. Actually, having looked at the map on where fuel cells are readily available, we may see Tesla abandon the US market and head to Europe. He might actually have some hope in Europe. Yeah, it's all smoke and mirrors right now. Mm-hmm. People bought Wirecard, and Wirecard just made the claim that these two banks in the Philippines have been holding $2.1 billion of its cash. But both of the banks say that Wirecard isn't a client. Yikes! They don't know they can recover the funds. Yeah, end phase is more of a pump, I think. Yeah, yikes. Hey, do you know where you put that $2 billion? No, I can't seem to find it. Oh, that's good. How did EA Play go yesterday? All right, it's about an hour. Can't watch that on stream, but I definitely will watch it after. I'm more pumped about the Tony Hawk remake. Everybody's debt is swelling. Yeah, so I saw that Squadrons. We saw that on the Sony one as well on the PS5. Um, I can't play that. I do like the cockpit concept. Oh, this is gonna be the hard part. It takes place right after Return of the Jedi, so it is VR. Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's amazing. It's bringing a bunch of games, older games anyway, to Steam. Yeah, I imagine we'll still see some interaction with familiar heroes, but if it takes place after Return of the Jedi, it makes it difficult because you got to bridge the gap. And so, yeah, there's not really anything in that gap. Han Solo, I'm sure, is going to show up for a cameo at some point. Okay, this looks interesting. EA's version of Overwatch. So I like that aspect of it, where the terrain is more interactive. 3 versus 3. So smaller maps, 3 versus 3. All right, interesting. New skate game. Really, that's it. This is a. I'm fairly unimpressed with that. So all they did was showcase a game that was already showcased on PlayStation. Yikes. Yeah, I'm with you. You definitely want that Death Star trench run, and if it's after Return of the Jedi, there's no Death Star, so I don't know how they're going to do that. Oh well, but it's VR is cool. More BlackBerry news. Up a little bit. Yeah, I don't imagine it'll be free to play. I imagine you'll be able to. BlackBerry is making a lot of moves. It's always been on my radar because it didn't completely blow up. I was looking to take it to the downside and actually watched their earnings and loved what I heard, so I decided to go the other way with it. Okay, I can update my position on what was it that I was looking to update? DMPI. So I got 2,000 there. Oh, please don't tell me this goes the way that I think it's gonna go. Oh, man. Hmm. Yeah, my thing with BlackBerry is that okay, so pairing with Shopify is a big deal. Um, Pairing with Bell Canada is a big deal. Like this is two of the biggest Canadian companies coming alongside BlackBerry. This smells of BlackBerry trying to become a big player in Canada again, which is may not be a huge market compared to the U.S., but it's definitely a no. It definitely makes it more than a $5 stock. Yeah, I mean that would have been a game changer for sure. That they wanted to go with their own U or their own OS was a mistake, but Yeah, that was a shame. That was a shame. Economic calendar today. I don't think we have anything. Oh, Powell's speaking again. Otherwise, there's nothing there. Yeah, pre-market. We're finally green on the SPY, so that's come up a little bit at least. I think we have a green day today. Just remember, guys, that you can expect to see a sell-off of positions towards the end of the day with COVID for sure. Let's see what's trending. So the DACA ruling was there. I wonder what the play is on DACA. So, hmm. Okay. I don't think so. I don't think that's enough. I think that was a really lackluster showing from EA. Okay, so with DACA here, the argument was the Attorney General argued that DACA never should have gone in place because it was illegal to start with. The Supreme Court didn't actually rule against DACA being rescinded. What it did rule against was how the Trump administration went about it. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of what's coming down the pipe on that Tony Hawk remake. Uh, So this doesn't mean that this is over, but all of the justices agreed that he does have the authority to cancel the program if done properly. Interesting. So this isn't over. Interesting. These are the people Trump wants to have on this sentencing board. This guy sounds reasonable. Kentucky has the support of McConnell and Trump. This sounds like a good pick. Felipe Restrepo? I thought it said it was almost. Luis? Okay, hold on. Early in the article, it says that his choices are white, mostly male. Uh, okay, so U.S. District Judge, white dude, check. Chief Judge, check, white dude. Claria Hornborn, female. Felipe, like Luis Restrepo, like okay, John Malcolm, white dude, but white dude that worked for legal and judicial studies. Mm, so somebody of Hispanic background, three white guys, and a woman. Good morrow, sir. How are things across the pond? Interesting. Raven Simone got married. Skate 4 officially announced. So Mississippi had to change their state flag, or the NCAA wouldn't do their. Yeah, it is so Raven. Um, Interesting. We're just gonna ban everything. Ban it all, burn it down, take all the statues down, take everything down. Oh, Cyberpunk delayed again. It's funny you say that, Goss, because if you look at the Ontario flag, so the flag for our province, brum, 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 brum. Most provincial flags still have it, and the ones that don't realize it, but they do have it. Tell me what you see. Tell me what you see. It may be a fleur de lis, but I see the Union Jack. I know, but it's a French province, so even the French province has a Union Jack on their flag, which is important. British Columbia is a giant Union Jack. um, Manitoba, Union Jack. Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan, no Union Jack, but it does have the. Is this the Welsh? Is it the Welsh that have the lion? One of you bloody Brits. Somewhere over there, there's a red lion, right? Um, Welsh have the dragon, right? No, that's not playing on that. I'll put this over here. Um, okay, so I'm a pretty simple guy, Wadeemer. You just show up and drop YouTube links. You go bye bye, bye bye. That's true. There is a freedom seagull. I'm having a hard time finding him in the Google search, but I know that he's around. Oh, there he is. Or is that him? The only true law is that which leads to freedom. Jonathan Livingston Seagull. Bwah, bwah. Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's pretty simple, guys. If I'm a big fan of curating your community, and if that's the way she's going to be, that's the way she's going to be. I mean, I'm okay with this. I would rather they do it right than rush it to market and it being crap. Okay. I don't really see a play there. I don't see a play there. 100 million a year. Not bad for an entertainer. Atlanta officers turn themselves in on charges. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't break this down very well. So he runs and appears to point the taser in the direction of Rolf, who shoots him. Two of the shots hit Brooks in the back, and the third one hit a nearby vehicle. Okay, so this is a very inaccurate description of of what happened. So in the video, the gentleman who was shot uh, pushed an officer as they were handcuffing him, wrestled his arms free, pushed an officer to the ground, punched another one in the face, stole the taser, ran from them, turned, fired the taser at an officer who had his taser out, which caused him to drop his own taser, at which point he drew his gun and fired. So that's a much bigger story than he runs, appears to point the taser, and then gets shot. Like these are two very different narratives here. And the video evidence doesn't support the narrative that CNN is putting out here. That this right here is inaccurate. He did see a flash in front of him. He did. It was the taser being fired. This officer here, not the one that fired the shot, suffered a concussion when he hit his head on the pavement. Never drew his weapon. And he removed the man's shirt and tried to administer first aid. He also put anticoagulant on Brooks' wounds. Hmm. Pierce Brosnan. Funny. I get it. 5 counts of aggravated assault, 4 counts of violating his oath of office, 1 count of criminal damage to property. Maximum sentence, someone convicted of felony murder is death. Howard said he would not seek capital punishment. Officers are leaving. This is what Martini was saying she thought would happen, and I'm inclined to agree that you're going to see more and more officers just not risking it. Yeah, cops just aren't showing up. Atlanta's saying they got enough police, but I think very quickly they're going to see that they don't. Yikes! Oh no, Danny. I mean, that's a pretty sound response of yeah, so I mean this is a pretty stable sound response of this is beyond ridiculous. I'm not going to fight my ex-girlfriend in the media like she's been baiting me to do for more than 2 years. I'll beat her in court and look forward to it because the public will finally be able to learn the truth and see how I've been railroaded by this woman. Once her lawsuit's thrown out, I intend to sue her and the others who jumped on the bandwagon for the damage they caused me and my family. I mean, there it is. And I think that's a pretty solid response of like, let's have the courts decide, ooh, AK from Solarius. Let's go. Yes. SLRX got compliance back. Let's go. Super pumped about that. So it means that they're not no longer at risk of being delisted. So what happens is when you're on the Nasdaq, right? There are certain requirements. You have to file at a certain amount of time. You have to have an annual meeting. But one of those is that you must stay above $1 share or greater. Otherwise, you can be delisted. You'll be sent down to the penny stocks. Now, that what happens is it's not an immediate thing usually. If your stock does drop back down below, especially through COVID, they had some leeway on this. So if we look at the last 6 months, um, they were up above that dollar, and then they dropped down and kind of stayed down here for a while. Um, and what this means is, as they're down here, they're at risk of delisting because they've been down for so long. But the Nasdaq allowed people an extended period of time to be down in that range. And in order to show compliance, you need to have 10 days in a row where you're above that mark, that $1 mark, in order to remain listed on the Nasdaq. So this just means that you can be traded on the Nasdaq and you're not traded on OTC, which is fantastic for them as news comes out about their pediatric bone cancer, because what happens now is they can be traded on most platforms because they're Nasdaq filed instead of OTC. That's great news. I'm really happy about that. I mean, I understand the conjecture and the story behind it, but we're down from 4-3, boys. England's safe. Now let's get Martini out of there. Repatriate. Repatriate. Oil's back over $40 a barrel. It's going to be a green day. Flood witching on tap. Bum, 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 bum. Flood witching. Ooh. A report from Bloomberg said China plans to accelerate purchases of American farm goods. Higher trading volume, higher volatility today. But this is big. This is huge for John Deere. No, there's nothing wrong with England, but definitely before things get locked down again, you want to get home, right? Picture you flip the situations, Goss, where COVID had you locked in the US for this time and you wanted to get home and you couldn't. You probably would, as soon as possible, go the other way. What's up, Weos? No, I don't do that marbles jam here. In the morning, we do actual stock inquiry and learning. We're here to learn and grow our minds. That's the real game. This is interesting. This hasn't really moved yet, and I wonder if that's just because the headline wasn't the right headline. I feel like I'd like to watch that today. Scam. I give you a Bieber. Okay. Anything moving crazy? Tesla's up 16% pre-market. Ooh, this is from yesterday. This was the pump on yesterday. Wirecard. Boom. It's funny. You click the penny stock on this on StockTwits and tell me the ad that pops up. Right? Look at this. Look at this. You don't need a large account and you don't need to be as smart as those Wall Street guys. Timothy Sykes. I work in marketing. So for me, I want the ads up. I want to see how people are advertising. This is how you learn. If there's an ad that grabs your attention, for me, that's important to recognize that and understand why. My opinion on Timothy Sykes, he makes a lot of money off of a lot of people. That's my opinion on Timothy Sykes. Timothy Sykes issues signals. Those signals are trades that he's already entered a position in. People enter into those signals. He exits when he knows he needs to exit, uh, then passes the out signal, and everybody else who's in it gets whatever they can get. I won't say it's a pump and dump because he actually has a process and a system, and he claims to be mostly institutional and educational. He gets away with it on the basis of tucking it behind a nonprofit. But the reality is, I am not a fan of the Tim Sykes concept of just trade penny stocks. Just trade penny stocks, and you don't need to be as smart as those Wall Street guys. Those two things bother me. This idea that you don't need to be as smart as those Wall Street guys is foolish. It's arrogant and it's ignorant. You want to try to educate yourself as much as humanly possible. And so telling people that you don't need to do that and that there's an easier way, it's a nice sell. It's easy to sell that to people, but it's not what they need. Yeah, unfortunately, people also leave the easy way pretty quickly, which is why he has to churn. It is Juneteenth today. I think most of you guys that know me know that I would never try to sell you the easy way. Um, there's definitely a better route to take, I think. I just want to check this real quick. Pre-market 108. Hmm. This is next week, this phase 2 study. Well, this is looking good for me pre-market here. Uh, SLRX bid is 156 where it is. 170 is the ask. I mean, this is a real thing. If Trump doesn't win the next election, it gets scary for the economy. It does. Yikes. This is going to be very, very interesting because if you start this, oh, I didn't realize. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. That's a Twitch thing. That's on the Twitch side. Sorry about your points, Rip. Um, oh, you tried to add a stock guide deal with it to the waiter symbol. Rip. I mean, they can start this for sure, but you better believe that there are going to be people out there that are fact checking everything, which is great. I'm all for people fact checking everything, but you better believe there's going to be manipulated media dropped onto CNN. I mean, just as we were reading the CNN article today, the facts of what they were presenting was that's not good. Yeah, this has less to do with the two guys that are currently under arrest and more to do with the fact that Canada arrested a Huawei executive. Oh, passenger banned for not wearing a mask on an airline. Yeah, in Canada, the arrest of the Huawei executive. The issue isn't her arrest; it's that we're extraditing her. We didn't arrest her on our terms. We arrested her to send her to the U.S. It was an extradition treaty. So on the arrest, they arrested two Canadians. Those are the two guys that we're reading about. Um, Not only is she an exec, she is the founder's daughter. Interesting. Good evening, Bruce. How goes it, sir? If you guys are not following Muddy Waters, I suggest that you do that. Understanding what is going on as far as frauds, as far as potential shorts, checking to see if your position is the real deal. I would love to see Muddy Waters dive into Nicola. Um, I'd love to hear these guys break down Nicola. Holy cow. Oh, yeah, I remember when Duo went up. I was there when. All right. Markets they be green. Markets they be green. Is good to see, yes? Good morning. Levi, just get rid of the ads, bro. Just subscribe and you get rid of the ads. Pretty sure that's how that works. Okay, I'm just checking to see. So, WPRT has a bid ask spread on it. Up 4% yesterday. See what it does today. BMY is fine. Merck got another approval on Keytruda, so that should continue to go up. GameStop is going to come down, looks like pre-market. After the money printer go burr. Yeah. Money printer go burr. Waiter looking like it's just floating around this 230. I'd really like Waiter to come down, actually. This sucked. I mean, it's great for the stock, but that sucks for me. I was hoping that this would decline back down to this $2 mark. Next time it comes down there, I think I'm going to loosen up some capital. Do you day trade? No, I long trade. I'm a long equity trader. Most of my plays are in the biopharmaceutical, so here are my holdings. 80% is in healthcare. I do not day trade. I do take trades day to day, but I do not day trade. Day trade is that concept of you're in, you're out on a day. Most of my plays play out over weeks, months, not years, but weeks and months. 6 to 18 months is my typical timeline. So while I'm still looking at positions on the daily, I'm doing breakdown analysis. I do not day trade. Space 1520. I'd love for this to drop back down to 10 too. Tesla 1100. Here we go. I am a digital marketing consultant. So professionally, I'm a digital marketing consultant. I also am creating a full-time income trading. So a little bit of both. A little bit of both. SLRX got their approval. So I mean, this account here started at around $3,000 at the start of the year. We're up to about 26,000. I'm 3 months ahead of schedule on this. The initial target that I had set was, I'll pull up the targets and goals. So I had hoped to turn this into a $50,000 account by the end of the year. We are in June right now, so by the end of June, I was supposed to have 11,000 in the account. Right now, it's up to 27. I'm well on track. Actually, I'm good until September right now. I'm ahead of my September target. So based off of where I am right now, I'm projecting closer to 130K by the end of the year. Now, there are some plays that have taken off that I did not expect to take off. So this one here, iPix, that's up significantly. I did not, that was a long shot, and I wasn't sure what it would do. So that it's getting the news around its COVID treatment has been big, which is fantastic. But probably end of year, I'll know whether or not this can be a full-time thing or not. If I'm able to surpass that 130,000 mark every year, I think I'll probably be fairly well off as far as full-time trading goes. So SPY's 312. So we're seeing a decent rise in the market. ACRX. I need that to start moving. DMPI could go either way today. Hopefully it goes up with DMPI heading into the next thing. Okay. Some sort of format. Okay. So trading journal. Go to Google Sheets. So for me, if you're going to create a trading journal, guys, what you want to be doing is, let's head in here. So for me, what I want to see, good morning, Twin Turbo Terror. Okay, what I like to see on this, guys, and because I am an FA trader, it's less about technicals for me, and more about what your thought process is behind taking the trade. So for me, what I'd want to have here is stock name, entry thought, uh, entry price, target exit, exit price, exit thought. And so what this would look like would be, let's use DMPI for example, right? So DMPI would be the name of the stock. Entry price yesterday was 10. Oh, you guys can't see that. Hold on. There. Entry price yesterday was DMPI by 526,601 last 7 days. Average fill was 112. Entry thought. Okay, why did I get into this trade? Why did I decide that this was what I was going to take? Well, I knew that DMPI would be... I'm going to expand this. DMPI presenting phase 2 results. And then if you guys have FA to support that, DMPI phase 2. Where's the bio? DMPI. Okay, so you had here, for me, it's like, okay, well, they are presenting at this symposium. Search DMPI. Delmar. Oop. Delmar. Okay, so the 22nd to the 24th is Monday through Wednesday next week. So phase 2 results, bracket this. Okay, great. So that's there. My target exit on this ideally is around, I would say 2. Let's go for the double up. 224. I'll put my actual exit in when that happens, and then I'll type in my thought process. So another one that I can do is one that I did exit where it's like, okay, MBRX, right? Entry on thought. 100% COVID and pediatric brain cancer treatment. Okay. Entry price on this was... $112. Target exit for me was double. More than double, actually. I'd hoped that this would go to 6. Exit price on it was actually 106. My thought on exit was following annual meeting approval of 1 to 8 reverse split and 6 million share offering poses increased risk. So, MBRX had that annual meeting. They decided that they were going to allow the board to decide to go for a 1 to 8 reverse split and also introduce 6 million shares in the market. It wasn't an announcement that they were doing that, but it gives them the ability to do that. And for me, that's just too risky to leave floating in the wind. So for me, I exited it at a loss in order to do that. Now, you'll note that in my trading journal here, I don't have my gains, right? And for me, gains, ideally, if you're going to have a gains, it would be back here. And so the reality is for me, I I would rather know that I made the right decision. Right. That's way more important to me that I know when to get out than what I won or lost on it. My portfolio is doing fine as far as wins losses goes, as far as the holdings go. So I'm not really worried about the financial side of things. I'm worried about did you do your due diligence on entry and exit? Did you exit at a reasonable place according to your due diligence? Um, so long as I can say yes to that, I Swamp Rat 89. Thank you so much for the follow, man. Much appreciated. So long as you can have this kind of a process to it, if you want, you can put a gains channel in there. I personally wouldn't, but that's up to you. You have to know your own trading style. You have to know what you're doing. You have to know what your goal is. Um, yeah, yeah. So like I've got a trading journal here that is absolutely filled with notes from different trades, different thoughts, different ideas, different places. And I use that just to track what's going on. Often it helps you remember as well. I find that having that physical trade journal and writing in it is going to help you remember why you're doing what you're doing. Um, could I go over iPix? iPix has developed, well, Burlacidin was supposed to be used for something else, but um, I don't use Excel just because Sheets is available and makes it easier to collaborate. Um, I'll go to CPE in a second. iPix Burlacidin came out with a study a long time back when the FDA was looking at 12,000 drugs. They were one of the 8 chosen to continue examining in the RBLs, so in the federal labs for a COVID cure. All the other ones were major companies, big companies. Burlacidin finally got results from that government study at the registered biolabs. And it showed that they were able to reduce the load of COVID by 95 to 97%, while not being toxic to accompanying cells. This is also an interesting drug because it's an antiviral, which means that it can be used as a potential vaccine treatment and secondary infection prevention. So it's a 3-in-1 combo drug. And so that's kind of where I am on iPix is that's a big deal for me when I hear that not only will this be able to treat current strains of COVID, this will be able to treat resurgences of SARS, MERS, COVID. It can be used as a treatment, a vaccine, and as a secondary infection prevention. This thing is built to stop the most recent strains. Yeah, I mean, and that's got to be a reality for AMD is that they're going to be around. All right, let's take a look at CPE here. CPE petroleum. So we're in the energy sector. Um, So you're playing oil as a whole. You're looking for a recovery. Go back a year pre-COVID, they were up around $5. So that doesn't look bad. I would go to Edgar again, guys. If you're not using Edgar, please start using Edgar. So why did you buy in? What were your thoughts on buying in? Because that's going to give me more insight into what you're doing. I would never give you actual trade information of like, yeah, you should sell it or yeah, you should buy it. But I do want to help try to teach people the thought process. So why did you get into the trade? What was your thought process on getting in? So what I'm looking at right now, guys, is their 10Q. This is their quarterly report. What I'm looking at here is their profitability. I'm looking at do they actually make money? Total assets, slight increase. Total liabilities, slight increase. That's interesting. I would say unaudited because, hmm, this oil and gas was all-time cheap when I read, and I know in the future once things stabilize, we'll go back up. Friend recommended it to me, and I went in for a small amount just to see where it goes. Okay, so a few things with that. Oil companies are exploding all over the place. They're going down in flames. So when you get in, even at a small position, it could still be a small position that liquidates quickly. Now, one of my concerns here right away off the bat is when you start to see funny numbers in their quarterly filings, it should lift a red flag. So here, if we check their 2019, right? 7194838, their liabilities are the same. They're the exact same. Total liabilities, like that's oh, this isn't total liabilities. This is liabilities and stockholder equity. Which is interesting because they didn't deduct their liabilities from there. This should be four. This should be four. Okay, let's see how they're doing for revenues. Oil, natural gas. These are in thousands. So 265 million in oil. They've got some natural gas as a buffer, which isn't doing so hot right now. Operation expenses are only 47 million, so their expenses aren't that high. Loss on derivative contracts. So they had a huge loss on futures this year. This is a red flag for me. This shows a decline. How long are you thinking to hold it? Like, are you looking for a day play? Are you looking for 6 months? Are you willing to hold this for 5 years? Like, what's your timeline? Couple of months. I don't foresee them being profitable this year, based off the reporting that I'm seeing. They took too huge a loss on futures derivatives. Um, they don't have any notes due until 2023, so that's fine. Yeah, into the end of the year, I don't see them being profitable. Hmm, Permian base. There's some shale. In my opinion, if you're going to play the energy sector, this is not the ideal place to be. So if you have if I had profit, I would probably be looking for an exit based off of what I'm reading here on their quarterly filing. I don't know that I would have taken an entry in it, but in my opinion, I would. Seeing the amount of losses that they have locked into oil futures, that's a concern for me, for sure. All right, light in the box. Dang man, that's rough. Yeah, I mean, you could always wait for a day when you get good oil news. What's oil at right now? Yeah, oil's up a little bit today. Energy sector's up, but yeah, futures come to an end today, so people are going to be looking to get out of their contracts. What the heck does this company do? Online retail company based in China. Yikes. Yikes, 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 yikes. Of course they announce their profitability. That's all they know how to do. Edgar. Win's a win is a win, man. A win is a win is a win. All right, later, Levi. Yeah, a win's a win is a win, man. Don't kick yourself over what you didn't get. Just be real about what you did. $60 up is still $60 up. Not to say it couldn't go up, it can go down. That decision's all you. But yeah, $60, it's still a win. Where are their filings? Do they not file 10Ks? Yeah, so Light in the Box is not interesting for me as it is an Asian based online retailer. Very little controls on that. Super, super scary. April, May, June rents of 91, 87, 87. So they're declining into June, which is interesting. Rent deferral numbers look good. I mean, I'd love to see these rental numbers on MFA. Builders are not doing as well, but MFA is doing well on mortgage news. Okay, so and we're seeing an increase in mortgage and homes. I'm expecting that to continue. Okay, so MFA continues to look like a strong position. Hmm. I may move some funds around today. We'll see. Yeah, they're up to 270 pre-market. Anything else you guys are looking at you want me to take a look at before I head out of here today? Let me know. It's 6:53. We've only got a few minutes left, so I am more than happy to jump in and evaluate a couple of the things that you guys are looking at if we have time. By the way, guys, Soma Holdings are now up over $6 trillion. The Fed now owns $6 trillion of notes, bonds, mortgage-backed securities, bad loans, junk bonds, you name it. They own it. All right, AGS, let's do a breakdown here. So when you're looking at a stock, guys, hop in, take a look at where it's at, take a look at its movement over the last 6 months at least. Okay, last 6 months, declining COVID. Pre-COVID, it was up at 10. Now it's down at 450. Play AGS. Okay, so casinos begin their slow roll. This is in the gaming as far as lottery and gambling goes. So they work on the hardware side, supply gaming products and services. So they actually do the machines. Um, they do the machines inside the casinos. Um, in the short term, in the short term, these are going to do well as casinos reopen. But I don't know. Actually, I can't say that they're going to do well because casinos already have machines, and with money being tight, I don't think they're going to be buying new gaming machines. I think that what they're going to do is just recycle what they already have, which doesn't lead me to believe that this is going to be monumental. You could ride it on casino news, hypothetically. Tip ranks, guys, if you're unfamiliar with tip ranks is a phenomenal tool. I highly recommend you check it out. It is most definitely worth it. If we head over here to tip ranks, open up AGS. Price analyst target of 6. It's at 450. It's a slight upside that's available on it. No, 450 is the price target. 6 is the high. 3 is the low. It's at 430 right now. Doesn't have a lot of room to run. I think if you're going to play the gaming sector, what you want to be looking at are things like Caesar. Things like Penn. Things like D-King. But I think the play actually has passed on casinos already. Delta and American, I would not go any. My opinion on airlines, and this is countercultural. Right now, a lot of people are super hot on airlines. I am not. I am not hot on airlines. There's a lot of heat going around on airlines right now. A lot of people are getting pissed off with airlines. Not a lot of people traveling yet. We're not looking at international travel coming back until Q2 2021. I think airlines have a little ways to go yet. As we head back into secondary flu season, we know that that's going to be a big issue. International travel is probably going to get locked down tight again. As far as domestic travel goes, yes, there are some flights happening domestically, but into Christmas, if we don't have a vaccine on the table, I expect Christmas travel to be extremely low, which is the bread and butter of that industry. Those vacations, the Thanksgiving, the Christmas, that's when airlines get that boom, and I just don't think that we're going to see it this year. So. Thoughts on who's saying we'll get a vaccine by the end of the year? I think that they may present a vaccine by the end of the year. I don't think that it will be the vaccine. What I think is going to happen is we'll see something like Moderna that has like a 58, 60% effective rate. That will be rolled out for people to use. And I think that one's being rushed. So there's a lot of potential fallout from that of it doing more damage than it could solve. Meanwhile, there are 3 candidates out there. 2 I think are valid. 1 I don't. Brolacidin, WP1122 from MBRX, and Sorrento's treatment. Now, Sorrento is claiming that they have a cure. I call bullshit on this one. I don't like it. Genus is a pump and dump. It is an absolute pump and dump. So Genus is one that we did cover. Genus is one that we covered extensively. It is a pump and dump of the highest quality. I would highly recommend nobody go near it ever. Actually, I can't recommend that. In my opinion, I would not. If you gave me all of your money and said, I just want you to burn this for me, I never want to see it again, I still wouldn't put it in Genus. Their new app, like the app means nothing. The app means absolutely nothing. Its IPs aren't owned. It has high levels of debt. Not a fan. Super huge pump and dump. Nothing is taking off yet, but we got a long way to go. It is 7 a.m. Eastern, though, guys. That's it for me. 4:30 to 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. Had a blast hanging out with you guys today. I really did. If you guys aren't following, subscribe wherever you are. Do that. Yeah, have an amazing day, guys. It is quad witching, so be aware of that. Futures ending, indexes closing, options closing, so be careful with that. I will catch you guys around. I will see you Monday. If you missed the start of this and you want to catch the whole thing, I do put a rerun on immediately after this, so check that out.